What's up guys, Mike here, and today I am going to be talking to you about the Nintendo Switch's presentation that took place on January 12th, 2017. Now these thoughts are going to be completely different from the Nintendo Switch's demo event that I went to the other day. Basically yesterday, as I'm recording this video on the 16th, I went to this demo event to try out the Switch myself on the 15th, so if you haven't seen that video yet, I will leave that link in the description as well to talk about all the games I tried out, but today's information is specifically based on what was heard at the Nintendo Switch's presentation and my thoughts on how they presented things. There was stuff that was during the presentation and a little bit of stuff that was after. First and foremost, the launch date and the price of the Switch. We are going to be getting the Nintendo Switch on March 3rd, which I'm very surprised about. A lot of people were saying March 17th, a lot of people were saying March 19th. March 3rd is really freaking close, honestly. I could have probably gotten away with not going to the Switch event, but I wanted to still try it out and everything. But, yeah, March 3rd we're getting it, and we're getting it at a pretty solid price of $300 US. Now, a lot of people are saying that this isn't a really good price point, but honestly, for what the Switch could do, for all of its capabilities that the Joy-Cons have and everything, I think it's a pretty fair price point. I think $300 is like the perfect pricing point for the Switch. You get the Switch's tablet, you get the two Joy-Cons, you get the wrist straps, you get the dock that it sits in, you get the AC adapter, you get the not a charging grip, but a controller grip, you get the AC adapter and an HDMI cable, which is all a very nice little bundle that you get for $300. Let's see, what else did they talk about? Right after they announced the price and the details of the Nintendo Switch, they talked about how online service is going to be working, and unfortunately, Nintendo is now going the route of Sony and Microsoft, where we have to pay for their online services. And I honestly can't say I'm 100% surprised, because Xbox Live and PlayStation Network, they make money off that PSN Plus and that Xbox Live. So Nintendo has decided to pretty much go down a similar route. There was no pricing points revealed, but basically, with the online services, you can have voice chat and other features as well as an NES or an SNES game, possibly with online play, which I found really bizarre and interesting, for the month. You're not going to be able to keep the games, but you'll be able to try it out for a month. But I'm guaranteeing that you'll probably be able to get a discount on that game, though, depending on what they give you for the month. Apparently, also, in terms of the online services, it looks like you could use voice chat and parental controls from a smartphone app. Why that is exactly the case, I have no idea, but voice chat and all that other stuff, I'm probably going to stick with Skype and Discord, because I think that's just easier just for my taste. The Switch is actually region-free now, which is really awesome. Pretty much before, you can only play US games on the US Wii U, you can play Japanese games on the Japanese console. They're saying the hell with regions, play any game you want on one console. So I might actually go try to look for Japanese and European imports of some games and put them here on the channel, believe it or not. One of the games I believe was announced in Japan was Taiko Beat Drum Master, and I've always wanted to try that series out. So I might get the Japanese version and play it on my US Switch now because I can. And I think that's a really nice feature, and I'm glad that they did away with the region locking. Then Nintendo went and talked about all the different features of the Nintendo Switch and how it brings in elements from all the past consoles. You know, the button, the D-pad from the NES, the X and Y buttons from the SNES, the joystick from the Nintendo 64, my baby, and everything up to the Wii U's gamepad, which I thought was a really nice touch for the event, though, and I'm glad that they went into detail, because pretty much something from every single past Nintendo console, portable or otherwise, lives inside the Switch, and I think that's a really nice feature that they talked about. Then after all that, they ended up talking about the different modes of which we could actually play this thing, and that is two simple modes. You can play in TV mode, which is what I'm personally probably going to use it most for. You have this Nintendo Switch tablet in the dock, and you can have the Joy-Cons inside of either a controller grip or a Pro Controller, or using the two Joy-Cons on its own, and just playing it on your TV. And there's also tabletop mode, which lets you use both of the Joy-Cons, lets you just hold the Joy-Con in each of your hands and use them both as a controller. There's a kickstand on the back of the tablet. That goes out, and you can pretty much play your freaking Switch on your desk. I could bring it to work or school now if I really wanted to, but I might just mostly be using it at home. But there'll be those times where I'll probably bring it to events and stuff. Let's see. It also lets you use the controller grip and the Pro Controller as well for the tabletop mode as well, I believe. And then, of course, one of the things that I was really, really worried about was the battery life. And we have a little bit of a reason to worry. The battery life is honestly going to be very, very shitty on this thing. I'm not even going to lie. The battery life is kind of pathetic. Only 2.5 to 6 hours, depending on what game you're playing. For reference, they said that Breath of the Wild is going to be 3 hours on a single charge. I am really hoping that there's going to be some sort of battery pack add-on that someone will probably end up doing. But then again, in our generation, in our day and age, we have battery packs. So I don't think we're going to have to worry too much. We're always near an outlet, I'm pretty sure. So I don't think we have too much to worry about. And also, since we're on the battery life, let me go back to the thought of paying for online. I'm just going to put this out there really quickly. Online play, paying for that is kind of shitty in the fact, but it makes sense for Nintendo to keep up with the competition and everything. And I'm honestly hoping that the money that we pay for the online services actually goes towards better servers. Because Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon were pretty good on the online play, but Super Smash Bros. It's not the greatest. It ran better than Smash Bros. Brawl for sure. Super Smash Bros. Brawl had like some of the shittiest online ever. And the Wii U definitely stepped it up from that, but I think we could definitely do a lot better with the Smash on the Switch's online servers. And then we move on to something else that I found really bizarre and interesting, though, that I think is going to be pretty damn cool. Up to 8 Nintendo Switch systems can actually be connected together for local multiplayer. And I think that's a really cool idea, because that means 8 people can just literally have their Switch, everybody gets their own screen. That's going to be a lot of fun, though, for events, though, because here in New York City, the Street Pass NYC, Monster Hunter NYC, we have a few gaming groups here in New York City that are definitely going to take a full advantage of that. And I think that's going to be pretty damn amazing to just come together and just go all out with the Switch systems. And then they ended up talking about all the different Joy-Cons and everything, the 2 Joy-Con controllers that come with the system. Basically, Joy-Con system, one of the Joy-Cons, the one that's on the right, basically the little controller stick actually has amiibo functionality, so you just have to tap your amiibo on the right control stick, and you can read all of your amiibos, so my huge collection of amiibos definitely won't be going to waste. I'm pretty sure we're going to be using the amiibos again in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I'll get to that at the end of the video a little bit. Excuse me. Each Joy-Con actually has all the buttons for a game, pretty much, so you have the control stick, all the D-pad buttons on the left Joy-Con, as well as the share button underneath and the minus button, and L and ZL on it. But if you actually take it out of the controller grip of the dock, and you flip it on its side, there's also an SL and an SR button, which basically acts as the L and R buttons, which I think is pretty damn cool, though. So pretty much every Joy-Con has every button that you possibly need to play any sort of game, really, and I find that really good for functionality and gameplay-wise. The left Joy-Con, right underneath the D-pad buttons, has a button underneath that actually lets you take screenshots and shares it to social media, as well as they're allowing for video in the future. So I'm honestly hoping that in the future we are going to be able to just go ahead and be able to upload videos to YouTube. Maybe Nintendo's finally going to get rid of the creators program or offer something better. That way I don't get copyright striked on every single one of my damn videos, because I'm a Nintendo gamer at heart. Yeah, I like doing other stuff like Sony and Microsoft and PC and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, I grew up on Nintendo. Ever since I was 6 years old, I played my first Nintendo 64 game of Mario Kart 64. Still one of my favorite games to this day. I want to be able to upload tons of Nintendo content to YouTube. I don't really care too much about the revenue share, but if I can get the few extra cents and Nintendo will drop the creators program, hey, that'll be better for me, though. And I'm sure a lot of other people are feeling the same way about Nintendo's copyright system in terms of, like, not letting any people get too much. Because, again, with Nintendo's online creators program, it's a 60-40 profit, though. But if you're giving us a share button there, Nintendo, I hope you're working on the creators program a little bit. The Joy-Cons also come with Joy-Con straps that you can also attach to the Joy-Cons themselves for motion controls and everything. I can imagine the Joy-Cons as like little mini Nintendo Wii Remote and nunchucks, honestly. Because, let's see, there's an infrared blaster in the front that lets you can literally play rock, paper, scissors. And you can literally just tell which one you're using, which I think is really damn cool. And for some reason, they ended up showing off ice cubes in a cup. Like, you can literally move around the Joy-Cons and you can tell how many ice cubes are inside of a cup. You can feel water pouring into a glass. That's pretty fucking cool, though. But I don't know what kind of functionality it's really going to have for gaming. Other than, I think, this one game in 1-2 Switch, which I'm about to talk about, that has, like, the little marbles in a box. You could probably tell how many marbles are in there. But they're calling the whole ice cup thing HD Rumble, which I found pretty interesting. But there's not really too much to say after that in terms of system specs. But the next thing they talked about was 1-2 Switch. It's basically a whole bunch of party games. It's supposed to be a good icebreaker of parties and everything. You can milk a cow with the SL and LSR buttons. You can tell how many marbles are inside of a box. You can freaking try to hack a safe. You can do samurai training. You can quick draw. There's a lot of interesting games for that, though, but I don't think I'm going to pick up 1-2 Switch, though. As much as I think it's interesting, I don't think it's worth $50. They could have honestly slapped the Wario skin logo on that. They could have probably slapped Wario and his friends on that and made a WarioWare game out of that. I have a feeling that's something they're probably going to do in the future, too, though. I would not be surprised if they do something like WarioWare Smooth Moves on this thing. That's my guess. If they're already thinking of stuff like 1-2 Switch. But the next game that they ended up talking about, this thing really has to be pretty hyped for, and that is ARMS. Basically, ARMS has you holding one Joy-Con in each hand. Again, I ended up talking about this in my Switch demo event, too, the review about that, what I thought about the event. But you hold the Joy-Cons in each hand. You have the R for jumping, L for dashing. You move back and forth. You punch stuff. You can tilt to twist the hands. The arms stretch for some reason. Basically, everybody's Luffy from One Piece. Pretty cool game, though. I'm definitely going to pick it up day one, though, and I'm going to explain more of that of my reasoning in the other video. So if you guys, again, go check out the demo event video. I talk way more about the details of the Switch in there, though. This is like a basic overview of the presentation. Alright, but then the next game that they showed off has me hype, and that is Splatoon 2. They kind of missed the idea of putting the 2 for the TOON. They could have put Splat 2 and then put the N. Oh well, though, but still, Splatoon 2 I'm very hype about. It's definitely a brand new sequel. It's not a port of Splatoon 1. It's nothing like that. It's got a new story, it seems. It's got a new hub world. It's got new weapons, new specials. It's pretty much a new game. You can roll around as well now. You can dodge bullets and stuff like that. You got new weapons like the Splat pistols, the Splat dualies. The new specials are pretty cool. You can summon like a rain cloud of ink. You can punch the ground and make a shockwave of ink. The one thing that has me annoyed, though, is that it is slated for summer release of this year, though. But I guess summer's not too far off. So, as hype as I was hoping to play Splatoon at launch, though, I guess we're waiting a few months for that. And then I fucking gushed over this next game. My God. I have never been as hyped for a Mario game as I am hyped for Super Mario Odyssey. It was the most beautiful game in the presentation. I would not stop gushing throughout the entire trailer. It nearly brought tears to my eyes. I know it brought tears to people's eyes like PK Sparks. He was fucking crying during that shit. I saw his reaction. Dude had beautiful tears of joy, man, but I don't blame him. The game looked absolutely gorgeous. You had Mario going through New York City, freaking wall jumping up buildings, freaking long jumping off the building. He has basically all of his moves from Super Mario 64. It's a free roamer. You could go anywhere and anywhere you pretty much want to go, man. It's crazy. Mario was wall jumping up the buildings. You can long jump, do the somersaults, triple jumps, freaking sliding. You're collecting like little pink triangles. They had a lot of amazing worlds, though, for this. They had a freaking tropical rainforest. Mario was in the water. You had him dancing next to some sort of plant. There was like a cooking world. There was so many beautiful environments and everything. I could not freaking begin to tell you. There was this giant fucking creature that just came crawling down the building at the end of the trailer. It looked like something out of Batman. Shit was fucking hype, though. I really was hoping that was going to be a freaking launch title. And then the fact that Bowser is in a fucking pimp suit. That dude looked like fucking Mr. Monopoly tossing his hat at Mario. And looks like Mario can toss his hat at enemies too and jump on the hat as a platform. Freaking, and then you had all these other weird enemies. You had the giant bird that looked like it came from Captain Toad's treasure tracker. You had these weird new rabbit enemies that I didn't understand what they were doing there. Maybe they gave Bowser the hat powers. Again, though, it's basically Bowser and Peach's wedding. It looks like the whole thing is themed around hats. Freaking again though. Oh yeah, I also flipped out because Mario's hat has fucking eyes. That threw me off guard. I did not think that Mario's hat was alive. I had to go what the fuck because of that. I know people were like laughing at me for that a bit, but yeah, unfortunately though, freaking Mario Odyssey is a holiday 2016 release, and I honestly think that Nintendo kind of dropped the ball on this one a little bit. Because if you had Legend, well, I'm going to get to it at the end though, but yeah, the launch lineup is something that is to be desired, and I'm going to get to that. Basically, after Mario Odyssey, they showed off Xenoblade 2, which, again, I'm not really a fan of Xenoblade. All I could really say about it is that the hub world looks bigger, and there's a new hero. And apparently there's this chick with pink hair that loves the world because the guy is in it. So, you know, it looks like an anime love story. They showed off a teaser for Fire Emblem, which is basically Hyrule Warriors with Fire Emblem characters. I know Thunder Spirit was kind of iffy about that, and honestly, I never played Fire Emblem though, so I could care less. But still, for Fire Emblem fans, at least you're getting a game though. I'm pretty hype about that for them. And after that, they showed off a bunch of other third-party stuff. They showed off, I believe, a new Shin Megami Tensei. They had another demo that was like a mix between real graphics and 8-bit graphics. Freaking Elder Scrolls Skyrim. It's definitely coming to the Switch. That is pretty fucking cool, though, the fact that you can play Skyrim on the go and at home. I don't know if mods or anything are going to be included, but I'm assuming not. But still, the fact that we're getting Skyrim on the Switch is pretty damn dope. We're getting FIFA on the Switch. You know, more soccer, I guess. Yay. And they also announced a brand new No More Heroes. I never played No More Heroes, but for those that are a fan of the series, I'm glad you guys are getting a new game for that. The translator during that, though, was absolute garbage. That dude deserved to be fucking fired. He was mumbling. I couldn't understand what the hell the dude was saying. He probably gave out so much information about the game that we don't even know about. And this translator's like, yeah, No More Heroes is coming. You might remember this guy, Travis Touchdown. Yeah, so the game is coming. Details and stuff coming soon. Thank you for No More Heroes, eh? And that was the translator. He did a horrible job with that, but that was probably the worst part of the presentation for me, honestly. But after that, they brought it back with the sizzle reel. Now, out of the entire sizzle reel, I went back and watched it, and these are the games that I pretty much saw on the sizzle reel. Super Bomberman R. I'm surprised Konami's bringing Bomberman to the Switch. I'm very fucking surprised. Even though fuck Konami and fuck what they did to Hideo Kojima, I can't deny that I am a Bomberman fan. I can't deny that I'm probably picking it up day one, though. I'm still pissed at them for what they did to Hideo Kojima, though, but I can't help but be hyped for Bomberman, though, because that was one of my childhood series. But they're bringing Bomberman to the system. They're doing Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2. I believe Minecraft Story Mode. Skylanders, which is going to be day one, but I could care less about Skylanders. They showed a lot of love to Dragon Quest. I believe that they're doing like 2 or 3 Dragon Quest games. I don't remember the names off the top of my head. But I think it was like Dragon Quest 10 and some other stuff. Rayman Legends. Lego City Undercover. Project Sonic 2017 and Sonic Mania, which I demoed. So if you're curious about my thoughts on Sonic Mania, definitely go check out the video on the demo event. They did Steep. Fast Racing Remix. And yeah, those are all the titles that I was able to get out of the sizzle reel. And then the final thing that they finally showed off was more Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And it is confirmed that on day one we will be playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on the Switch on March 3rd. Legend of Zelda looks like a fantastic title. Looks like they brought back a bunch of other creatures like the Gorons, the fish people. Again, I never played a Zelda game in my life. The only people I know of are the Gorons. I don't know if the Deku Scrubs are going to be a thing or all the other good stuff, but but the guy at the demonstration told me that Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is a very good entry point, so I am honestly hoping that Breath of the Wild is going to be a very good game to show off. I will definitely be picking it up day one. I'm going to show it off, and if I don't really like what I'm seeing Breath of the Wild wise, I'll probably give it away to one of you guys. Again, never played a Zelda game in my life, so it's going to be interesting trying that out. But the game has voice acting, and the game honestly looks gorgeous, though, so I'm going to give it a fair chance. Again, never played Legend of Zelda in my life, though, so I'm hoping I'll be into the whole open world exploration thing, since I liked exploring Mario 64 and everything. So, yeah, other than that, though, there's not really much else to say, though. That's pretty much my thoughts on the Nintendo presentation thoughts from January 12th, 2017. Again, oh, wait, there is actually a little bit more, though. Actually, my mistake. There was stuff that was shown off after the presentation that we didn't get to see, though, which I don't know why they didn't do a small trailer like during the presentation. You could have fit them in during the presentation, Nintendo. We were wondering where the fuck was Mario Kart 8. Apparently, it wasn't good enough for the presentation, though, being like Nintendo's best kart racer. You know, they had to wait until after the presentation to show that shit off. So, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, all you're really getting is all the DLC tracks. You're getting an all revamped battle mode. Apparently, there's going to be battle courses from every single Mario Kart in this battle mode, though, apparently. You're getting the Inkling Girl and Inkling Boy as playable characters, as well as Dry Bones, no, not Dry Bones, that's DLC, Dry Bones, King Boo, and Bowser Jr. Apparently Diddy Kong didn't get the memo, though, so I guess Diddy Kong's still not allowed in this game, or Birdo. But, you know, a couple more characters, those two characters would have probably made it complete. Maybe there'll be more DLC on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, though. I'm not going to count that out just yet. I think Nintendo kind of knows that Mario Kart 8 sold really damn well on the DLC, though. So I have a feeling Nintendo's going to probably add a few more battle arenas and a few more racetracks, though. And a couple more characters as DLC, though. I hope that Nintendo is smart enough to do that. Because if there's no more DLC tracks, and this is really all we're getting, I feel kind of shitty for myself, because I paid for all the DLC, as well as anyone else who bought the DLC. I feel your pain, because Nintendo, I hope you offer a discount on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe if you're not planning to add anything else, but I think if you're going to make us pay the extra $60, I have a feeling you're going to be adding more DLC. That's my thoughts on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I don't think all the rabbits are pulled out of the hat just yet. And I can say the same thing with launch titles. So far, in terms of launch titles for this thing, we only have Super Bomberman R, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Just Dance, Skylanders Imaginators, and I believe this other game called Snipper Cuts, or whatever the hell, Snippy Snips, or whatever the hell. It's a game where you're cutting each other up as pieces of paper. But honestly, I think within the next 7 weeks, though, we still have 2 months, basically, to freaking speculate and get some more information out there. I think Nintendo's going to freaking make one more Nintendo Direct, specifically for launch titles for the Nintendo Switch, though. I think within the months of March, April, May, I think before E3 we're going to get a solid amount of titles. Even though Splatoon, Mario Odyssey are still a ways away, I at least know that I'm going to be getting Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on April 28th. Again, I don't know why it's so far off, but I hope there's some surprises along the way. But that is going to pretty much do it for me and my presentation thoughts of the Nintendo Switch. If you guys enjoyed this video, definitely hit that like button. Definitely let me know your comments and thoughts down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Definitely follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Discord. All those links are in the description. Subscribe if you're a brand new fellow Monster Gamer and join the Monster Nation today. And until the next video, my fellow Monster Gamers, thank you guys as always for watching, and take care.